Welcome back, guys. So on this channel we do family vlogs and lots of fun things. So you want to make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on some more things to do. So guys, we're here today to talk about what's been going on the last 2 weeks. I want to do an update for you because it's just been crazy. All the little things that's been happening. So you need to see what it is. And like, oh, hey, what's up? Man, I'm sitting here trying to shoot a video, an update video of what's been going on the last 2 weeks. Well, man, it's been a lot of things going on. Like, so look, if you got to go back 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, I get a phone call. I was asleep, and when I woke up, and I was kind of half in and out, but you know, Rebecca, like a year and a half ago, was doing driving lessons, and I was teaching her how to drive and all that. She had her permit, and that permit lapsed for, you know, after that year. And just so much going on, she didn't get a chance to go take her driver's portion. Well, anyway, so they called me and said that she went and retook her permit test and passed again. And when they realized that she had already passed it once before, had driven for a year, but never got around to her driving test, they just said, come back, you know, like 3 hours later. So I took her out, and we basically drove around, or I let her drive around for 2 hours. And so after that, I took her up there, and they're like, well, we've seen you driven for like a year, and that we're not able to test anybody because of the coronavirus. So they stamped her permit and said, go up to the revenue office and get your license. So she's got her license. I mean, she's driven, and she drove, like, after 6 months of not driving or so, she jumps in the vehicle and drove like she'd been driving. It was fine. She was a little nervous at first, but she was fine. So basically after that, the next day, I dropped my vehicle off at a dealership to get them to look at my AC because it's not been cooling like it should be. So I do that. I walk like over a mile back to my place because I'm that close to the place. And after about 3 hours of a nap, I get a message from them, and they're wanting to like get me to spend like $2,200 on all these things, and nowhere on the list was my AC. And I was like, well, what about the AC? We don't know why that's not on there. They were so involved in trying to upsell, you know, a coolant flush and a tune-up and all these other things, brand new sets of tires and all that they don't even think about the thing I came in there for. So I paid them to put dye in it so they could see where it's leaking, and it like went out the next day already. Still, I'm not going to pay all that money when that's all they're trying to do is get me for all this other stuff. So basically that evening, I wasn't going to get Rebecca because she was going to be hanging out with some friends till later that night, and she got on a hoverboard for the first time ever, hanging out with friends. And I don't even know how long it was, but it wasn't very long. She fell off the hoverboard, and next thing I know, I'm getting a call that she's going to the ER. And they x-rayed it, and the best they could say was that she fractured her elbow. They put it in a sling, which she's decorated, make it all look nice. But they said she's going to go to the orthopedic and find out what the orthopedic says. So after 11 days, the last 11 days, it's been crazy with her with a arm in a sling. And today, on the 11th day, she goes to orthopedic, and they put her in a cast for 2 weeks. So that's the update on her, that she's going to be now in a cast. So in the middle of all that, John Ross has been at his grandmother's for the last 2 weeks, and the younger two have been spending some time with me while Rebecca's been basically staying home a lot and trying to mend. So they've been wanting to swim. Well, I drove by the public pool, and it was just packed, and there was like half the people standing outside. So I was like, they must be only allowing so many people in at a time. And I found out the next day from a guy I work with that they actually had kicked everybody out because they were letting these kids in for free. And so they kicked everybody out and made everybody repay to come back in, which is kind of stupid when they get stamps on their hands that they came in there. So all you gotta do is check the stamps and know who paid and know who didn't. So I don't know what that was about. So instead, I went and bought them this little kiddie pool and set that up and let them play in the water with that. So it's just been a crazy, hectic week. I'm thankful that Rebecca is on the mend. She's got, they're saying that the bone is in place as it should be. There's nothing in her joints out of place. So in 2 weeks, they're going to take the cast off and see if she needs therapy. And basically, that kind of catches you up, you know, with what I'm going to do here. But anyway, I'll talk to you later then. All right. All right, bye-bye. All right. So where was we?